I always do reference everything back to the King James Version, and I try to be a little bit quiet about that. This upset me when I compared these verses back to the King James Version. I've heard about this happening where it's like, oh, you take that word out and it changes the whole sentence. I've heard of that happening, but to see it in my face like this and realize what was happening by them taking these words out and replacing them, it made me angry. I don't know. I don't have better words besides that. It made me angry. But okay, so in his version of the Bible, and I don't know what version it is, okay, it says, "Let a woman learn in silence with all submission." Okay, well, in the King James Version, the verse 11 says this: "Let the women learn in silence with all subjection." Okay, when you think of submissive, and this is the part that I'm really angry about, verse 12 is what I'm really angry about, but if you think about submission, okay, I kind of picture like a woman, like, sitting with like, her hands crossed in her lap, and her head down and everything like that. It's, submissive, you know what I mean? And I feel like this word was used honestly on purpose to kind of further this conspiracy. I mean, these are the verses that everybody goes to say that a woman cannot go spread the gospel. And you replace the word subjection with submissive. Every single woman on the planet should feel like that is just a slap across the face, because the word subjection, okay, is I am subjecting myself to the sermon. I want to be taught. I'm willingly wanting to subject myself to what the preacher is trying to tell me here. Okay, I'm not being submissive. Okay, I am learning in silence with all subjection, and that is something that I do when I go to church. So this makes more sense to me. Okay? Verse 12 is where I got really upset. So in verse 12, in his version of the Bible, it says, "And I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over a man, but to be in silence." Okay. That is just simply not the word of God. Verse 12 in the King James Version is, "But I suffer not a woman to teach nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence." For anyone that doesn't know what the word usurp means take. Okay? Take a position of power or importance unlawfully or by force. In his version of the Bible, this is misleading to the point that you think that this church is allowing these women to do what they're doing. So, guys, these women were not being allowed to do what they were doing. Okay.